What's happening, people? My name is Tom, or FPL Wildy, and this is my Game Week 6 Wildcard Draft video. As you can see, Wildcard is active. Just before we get into it though, I'll do a little review of my game week. 47 points, I did get a green arrow. Nico Williams' goal hit like crack, mate. If you're Nottingham Forest defender, we've been on the rough side of variance, yeah. We've been unlucky. So that was a lovely gift from the FBL gods, just rewarding me my patience. So that was lovely to get. Senesi, I'm glad I found a way to play him. I was very close to benching him. Would have been for Anderson. So 5 points better off by starting Senesi. Was thrilled with that return. Dubravka and Sanchez, that was another close call. 7 point swing there. So I come on the right side of these swings because third swing I was very close to captaining Palmer. So if I got all three of them decisions wrong, I'd be in a bad place right now. So yeah, obviously Chelsea had the man sent off. Palmer got injured. Salah with another lucky return. I'm just glad he got something. So yeah, only really 3 real returns this game week with a couple of defcons. Well, one defcon in Richards, and then obviously save points from Dubravka. So yeah, team is not in a great spot. I mean, look at the state of that. I wasn't going to play wildcard this week. I wanted to save it till 13, but team value just kept going down and down and down. I got 2 free transfers. It would have been Haaland and Salah out for 2 others, but then I just got so many more problems with my team. I looked at my wildcard draft, and I'm going to have a complete new midfield. So 5 transfers there, 2 new forwards, and a couple changes in defence. So I've just played it, and I look forward to game week 13, and I don't think if I wildcard now, I can still manage game week 13 with 3 transfers along the way. So yeah, it was the right time to wildcard. That's enough about last game week though. Let's go into my wildcard draft. Okay, so there is a template for me. It's a very strong template, and it's kind of hard to go against it. So here's my wildcard absolute locks. These are people in my team, and it's straightforward. I'm sure you've seen these same players across almost everybody. Thump 3 picks itself. Senesi, I've got him for 4.6 mil. He's going to be the best 4.5 million defender in the game, potentially the best pound for pound player in the game. I want to play him every single game week. So he's in. Tarkowski, Defcon monster. Him and Senesi, the only people that have achieved it 100% the game. So Tarkowski's another guy I can play every single game week. It's not gone up in price yet, so decent value there. And Gabriel. Arsenal fixtures coming up are insane. He can clean and score in any game, so I'm hoping points will come along there. Come back to the goalkeeper soon. Midfield 4. I don't really want to be forcing Saka in yet. So Bruno Fernandes for the next 2 fixtures are better than Saka anyway. So Brentford and Sunderland at home. He's in for many reasons, so many routes to points. Tijani Reinders is obviously in, as is NGI. Way prefer NGI to Grealish, especially as Grealish isn't playing in game week 8. But NGI is someone who I regretted not getting in game week 1. I also looked at getting him in at game week 4. And I didn't in the end. I went for Paqueta instead. So I just want to get him in now. He's obviously a good asset. A great asset, in fact, for his price point. So I'm happy to own him. I'll probably keep him for a large chunk of this season. And then Semenyo, this guy's been killing me. 7.7 mil now. But he's in my team for my mid-price midfielder bracket. And then front 3 picks itself. Nothing to say there. Obviously, Haaland was always the plan. I'm going to captain him probably for the next 3 game weeks, if not 4, depending on how bad Villa are. But wait and see on that. And then Dubravka, easy pick there. And Alderete is my favourite 4 million defender pick. Sunderland look good. He's good for DC, good for minutes. And in the weeks I need him, he has a good fixture. So they are my absolute locks on wildcard. Probably no surprises there at all. So, template's so strong. I've been dying to find a way to go against it. I don't like having all the boring picks. I want a little bit of spice. I want a little bit of personality in the team somewhere. But it's hard to compromise in any of these players on your screen. So we're looking at the goalkeeper, my 5th defender, and my 5th midfielder. And I've basically got 2 or 3 options here. To template or not to template. So option 1 is the template pick. People are going Raya for triple Arsenal, double Arsenal defence. They're getting Stacking as their favourite 5 mil defender. It could be Xhaka, could be Dewsbury Hall. Probably not. Stack's probably better than both of them. And then Richards or Anderson. Richards probably better for me because I'm playing a bench boost in game week 8. If I'm wildcarding this week. If you're wildcarding this week and you've still got bench boost, I'd probably recommend doing the same. Let's get that out of the way now. At this point, so that's the template there. 5.5 mil keeper in Raya. There are some Donnarummas, but I think Raya's better. Option 2 or 3. go for a strong 8th attacker. I'm not loving Stack too much. So option 1, you can spread the funds, get double Arsenal defence, or I can get 6.5 mil mid, either in Enzo Fernandez, could be on pens, could be playing number 10 for Chelsea, or Kudus. I would like Simmons, but there's no way to get there. The next 3 fixtures are just amazing. Should get some points in the next 3, surely. And I just think Enzo and Kudus are better for goals and assists and stats. But there are compromises. That means we have to downgrade Raya to Petrovic, and it means downgrading Richards to Rodon. We're going to dive deep into both options here. First of all, let's just focus on why I don't particularly like the template. So you've got your Raya in goal, 4.5 mil defender, and stats your 5 mil mid. So when Game Week 8 bench boost comes around, I am going to be hedging. Well, first of all, I'm going to have to play Stack. So I don't know if Stack, on my bench boost, I want my 8th attacker to have good upside. Yeah, I want a good chance of a goal assist or a haul. I don't know if I get that with Stack. Obviously, he's got amazing points so far and he has hauled, but I don't know how reliable that is. If I'm wildcarding now, is he definitely the best budget midfielder, 8th attacker? I don't know if he is at this point in the game, at this point in the season. So what I mean by hedging there, Game Week 8, Richards has Bournemouth at home. So that'll be going against Semenyo and Senesi. So that's not great upside there. And then Stack, he's got to try and score against my Dubravka. So yeah, it will still be a good bench boost, but I am hedging there. I'm not going to get all my players returning. It'll be impossible. So my ceiling is limited. I don't have the high ceiling as I would like. It also does impact your future moves. Like, I'm surprised that so many people have Raya, because if you look at it by Game Week 9 or Game Week 13, if you want to get in the likes of Palmer and Salah eventually and keep the balance elsewhere in your team and defence, I don't know how they're doing it with Raya. I mean, unless you've got literally 1 million more team value than me, I think you're going to have to take Raya out at some point. I definitely think, I've looked through it loads of times, he's going to impact your future moves, having David Raya in there, as well as Richards. Richards I do love as an asset. You can play him any game week because Palace are just so good. But I don't know if he's better than Tarkowski, Senesi and Gabriel. I don't think he's ever going to feature in front of them 3. So that's just extra money sitting on the bench. And then lastly, yes, boring. I would like to differentiate. I don't want to be the boring same pick as everybody else. That ain't me. I always try and look for other ways. So yeah. So this is the template team, and we're going to just go through the few weeks now and see how it looks. So this is Game Week 6. Obviously, we're fine for this week. Raya and goal are lovely. Game Week 7, we're obviously fine as well, but Game Week 8 comes around. This is when I want to play bench boost. Bench is still looking good, but as I say, Richards has got to play against Semenyo, and Stack and Dubravka play each other. So the upside isn't quite there, although you still expect maybe 12 points or a bit more on my bench, which I would take, but I'm just trying to find ways to improve my team, get maximum points I can. Game Week 8 looks good. I would play Richards actually, or maybe I'd play Alderete and bench Tarkowski. But anyway, it's not too relevant. Game Week 9 comes around, and this is I want to keep the door open for Cole Palmer, because if he's fit for Game Week 9, he's the best captain. So I want a route to go there. Let me just quickly reset. I can't go Bruno. I can't go Palmer with Bruno and Gyökeres, so one of them have to come out. Looking at the fixtures here, probably not going to be Gyökeres with Burley and Sunderland on their way. Palmer would be a better option than Fernandez, and Fernandez will come out. So if I want Palmer with this template team, Raya and goal, etc., I still need to find 1.3 mil. So that could be in die out to like Dewsbury Hall. Reinders maybe to a dead spot. It depends. That could be a king or just a dead midfielder spot. Depends what price rises are. You expect Palmer to come down. I think this is inaccurate as well. So I've got 0.1 million more than I think I've got 4.4. Let me get rid of that. Or it'd have to be Semenyo. So let's say I really want Cole Palmer to captain him. It will be Semenyo out for Sarr, which isn't great. Probably want to keep Semenyo, right? I mean, this is probably a decent window to get rid of him, but look at this coming. I don't know. Probably want to keep Semenyo, but wait and see. Game Week 9's a few weeks away. If I want Palmer, that is my plan basically. I'm going with the template team, and then these weeks here, I just want to roll as many transfers as I can up to Game Week 12, up to Game Week 13, 14. Because this is when the massive shift is coming with City and Liverpool. So let's say we're in game week 13 now. And we're probably going to want to go to a Salah and Haaland draft, or at least a Haaland and Liverpool captain draft. Let's look at the fixtures here. Here we are. So look, captain here, captain Haaland, captain Salah, captain Haaland probably, captain Salah, captain Haaland, captain Salah again, or someone from Liverpool. Game week 13 is when you want to get, or you can even hold off Liverpool for 14. So 13, 14, want to start loading up on Liverpool now. I've kept my 2-seat players through, so I'm saving transfers that way. But say Salah comes in, right? Okay, Shockwest will come out at this point. This will have to go to a good spot. Let's say it's GUI for now, probably won't be, because I don't want to block that Chelsea. And my things froze. That's good timing. So GUI will come to the bench, obviously. Let's just put Stack in. João Pedro, we're probably going to keep. He's at a good price point that we can come down to most other forwards, but let's keep João Pedro in there for now, because these fixtures here, the other side of Arsenal, are still good. And that's an extra transfer. So João Pedro will stay in. He can be another forward. We have 2 transfers already. Okay, so I bring in Salah. I'm going to want more Liverpool, right? We're going to want Van Dijk. I don't want to sell Gabriel for Van Dijk. Gabriel for me is someone I can just keep the whole season. Let's say I want to sell Tarkowski at this point. Probably do, looking at that. Virgil will come in. And then do I need to get a City defender as well? I don't really know. And obviously, this does involve just playing stack now every game week. Or my 5 mil player every game week, because I bought in GUI. So Sarr will stay in, but then I'm also going to want a mid-price midfielder, right? Like, Newcastle's fixtures get good. Could want a Gordon. I want to get more Liverpool in my team, so is that going to be Gakpo? Look at that. So now, if Njai comes out, and we're going Gakpo, for example, I can't have Gabriel and Virgil and Raya. So this will probably stay as Tarky, right? So Gabriel have to compromise with Virgil, but I still can't afford it. So then you're going to have to come down to another 4.5 mil, so let's say you're Anderson. Or whatever. So this is what you got to have to work with in game week 13. And I'm playing stack every game week. And I've got no bench cover, really. I've got no forward. I mean, these 2 are good bench cover. So, and I've not got my 3rd City. And I've not got any Newcastle in my team. Just remind you of Newcastle's fixtures. Particularly here, Burnley, Sunderland, Burnley, Leeds again. You're going to want a Livermore, Burn and a Gordon, right? There needs to be some more flexibility here, and I don't think Raya provides you enough flexibility. So let's say it was Petro. And now I've got 1.5 to play around with, so I can upgrade Stack immediately to a 6.5. I can upgrade Sarr to a Gordon. That can help out, can't it? I could now make you a Livra. Do you see what I mean? So I think when game week 13 comes around, or 12, probably not 12, sorry, 13 or 14, Raya's going to be a transfer. If you want to get Salah and Haaland, I mean, this isn't even an Isak or a Katike build. You're going to need more money if you want one of them to. Or a Foden or Marmoush. Do you know what I mean, guys? Like, you're going to want City and Liverpool, and they cost money. I don't think you can afford having a 5.5 mil goalkeeper during this period of the season. So, what do we actually need to consider? We've looked at the template. So, what's the variant? What's the alternative? I'm looking at Raya versus Petrovic. I'm looking at Stack versus a 6.5 mid. I'm looking at Richards versus Rodon. So, this is Raya versus Petrovic. Why I don't like Raya so much, obviously, well, I think he's a transfer down the line at some point. I think I'm going to have to take the funds out of that goalkeeper spot. 5.5 million. I mean, my team value is like 99 and a half at this point. I can't be having 5.5 mil in my goalkeeper spot, really. Not for the long term. And this wildcard needs to last me for the season. So I think he's a transfer down the line. Like I said, in game week 13, 12, 14, probably going to want a Haaland and Salah set up with a few more Liverpool and City in there. So that's going to cost money. Funds will be tight. So yeah, 5.5 seems a bit too much. While I like Petrovic, he could just be the set and forget of 4.5 for the whole season. Goalkeepers don't have a lot of upside. They don't get many points. There's probably like 20, 30 points between your average 4.5 to a good 5 million, 5.5 million keeper by the end of the season. I don't want a lot of money in my goalkeepers, especially this season when Salah and Haaland got so much money. I don't want to be tying up loads of funds there. However, though, I will have Senesi and I will have Semenyo, so that means tripling up on Bournemouth and doubling up on their defence. So that's a small downside. But at 4.5 mil, both of them, well, 4.6 for Senesi and Petrovic, I think I should just treat them as individuals. Like, I've not picked them thinking, oh, I want to double up on Bournemouth defence. I picked them because they're both phenomenal assets and value. And just look at the fixtures down there, like, Bournemouth will keep cleans. Obviously, the City game's not great. But West Ham, Sunderland, Forest, Fulham, Leeds, they'll keep some cleans in there, right? He's going to get some cleans. He's going to get points. He's going to do just fine at 4.5 mil. And then Raya, obviously, Arsenal defence are phenomenal. Fixtures are phenomenal. But like I said, it's a transfer down the line. It blocks Saka, if I ever want Saka in, because I want to keep the door open for Saka in 8 or 9, especially if Palmer's not fit. So yeah, obviously Raya will get more points than Petrovic, but we need to weigh up everything. So this will be Stack versus some 6.5 mil mids. Basically, this whole theory started with me having Stack on my team and looking at him and not being that content. There's no real fixed weeks that I want to play him. He's fine to have there as an emergency backup, but I had some money left over and I want that to set on Raya. So then if I downgrade Raya to Petrovic, I was looking at who I can upgrade Stack to, and it can only really be Paqueta. So then I found a little bit more money by taking out Richards to a 4 million defender, and that opened the door to Kudus and Enzo. So quickly talk about Stack though. He is good value at 5 mil, but are his points reliable? Can I predict when they're going to come? I don't know if I can. I don't think he's that type of asset. Is there realistic upside? I don't know if there is. I don't think he's gonna. I mean, he has hit upside, but I don't know how reliable that is. His numbers haven't been amazing. And then is the upside of having Raya over Petrovic enough, and Richards over Rodon enough to justify Stack over Kudus or Enzo? Because Kudus or Enzo are better assets than Stack, right? But is Raya that much better than Petrovic? And Richards, I'm not going to play him many weeks. He's just a bench option. I'll have him for bench boost, obviously, but this is what I'm toying up with. Is what you got to think about. Is it worth it? Enzo and Kudus, I'm more willing to play them any given game week. If I had Kudus, I would start him for the next 3 fixtures, which are amazing. 3 of the worst defences in the league, maybe the bottom 4 defences. Wolves, Leeds, Villa. So I'll play him all 3 game weeks. And if I had Enzo, I'd play him this week and game week 8. So I'll start him for 2 games. So they do improve my starting 11. And it provides me a strong 8th attacker who's got a decent opportunity to haul in game week 8, which is what I want in my bench boost. Enzo I like because Palmer's out now, so he could have pens and he could play number 10. Kudus I like mainly for fixtures and just getting some Tottenham in my team. I'm leaning slightly towards Kudus at the moment, but I could go Enzo. I just think Enzo might play majority of his minutes in 8 with either João Pedro in the 10 or Buonanotte in the 10. I don't really know. And JP, as in João Pedro, might still be on pens or might be on pens. I don't know. Probably slightly into Kudus at the moment, but either of them are good options. I'm going to keep thinking about them. And then lastly, so Richards versus Rodon. Is that worth the 0.5 mil? Richards, obviously, I love him. I've had him in my first draft, game week 1. Plays well, great defence. He's a good value and asset, and I'm happy to have him on for the rest of the season. I can either start him the whole season or have him on my bench the whole season. I'm happy. It's not a transfer out. He offers great bench cover. Any game week, Palace can clean. He's decent for DC points, so he can just come in. However, in game week 8, when I'm going to be playing him, guaranteed, because of bench boost, he is playing Bournemouth, and I've got at least 2 of them. So Senesi and Semenyo. So they can't all get points that game week, unless obviously Richard scores, for example. And so does Senesi and Semenyo. I don't know. I'm just trying to justify it. Is it worth paying 0.5 mil for a better first or second bench option? Like, how many times am I actually going to play that? Is that value going to be worth it? I'm not too sure it is. And then Rodon, first of all, he rotates really well with Alderete, like really well for quite a long period of time, like 10 game weeks or so. He's also good value in asset for what he's worth. These 4 million defenders are doing well this season. They've all got like over 20, 25 points already. And it allows me just to put more money into my first 11 or my 8th attacker. So it just enables upgrade and stack to a 6.5. It could even be Sar if you're bullish on Sar. But he's not fit yet, so I'm not going there straight away. Probably will get Sar in. Maybe after the Arsenal game, or at some point when I need another midfielder. And yeah, Rodon is a good option for game week 8. Burnley away. I looked at the predicted points between Richards and Rodon for this game week, and they're very similar. Richards has slightly more. I think he's like half a point better than Rodon on expected points. So he's good for game week 8, and then I just keep him on my bench afterwards. Like, I pay my bench boost. Usually when you pay your bench boost afterwards, you then need to take out money from your bench and put it into 11. I won't have to do that if I have Rodon now. I already have a minimum price bench after my bench boost. And then what Rodon also allows me to do is no hedging in game week 8. So I'm playing for maximum upside on my bench boost. I've not got any Burnley attackers, so Rodon will be good to play. Whereas I've got a Bournemouth attacker against Richards. So no hedging is what I like. I mean, it's not be all and end all, but if I had to choose hedging or no hedging, I choose no hedging. So I come back to this. Do I go template? A lot of money spread around, big defence. Well, I'll take that money out and make a better 8th attacker. Let's have a look at my differential team. So there it is on your screen. Why I like differentiating. Reasons why I like this. I do have more attack and threat in my game week 8 bench boost. And like I said, Richards and Rodon were similar points this game week. So similar X points defensively wise. And also no hedging, so it would be so Rodon would be playing Burnley, which is fine, no hedging, and then it would be Kudos versus Villa, who I've got no hedge as well, compared to Stack and Richards, who both play defences, who I already have. So I could perceivably have maximum upside in game week 8. So Gyökeres is in my teams, in everyone's wildcard team, right? But I'm looking at Newcastle away. I don't think he's going to do very well. He's not performed against the big teams yet. We've not really got him involved or created chances for him. And we aren't good against Newcastle, especially at St James's Park. When I had Stack in my team and I was looking at my wildcard earlier in the week, and I was just thinking, is there anyone who I can bring in, who I can like to bench Gyökeres for this week? And there wasn't. But then I found a way. Kudos. I would play him over Gyökeres this game week. I'm not expecting Gyökeres to get a goal. He could punish me, but I don't see it. So yeah, I'll bench Gyökeres this game week. The data also, like X points from models, they also back that Kudos will outscore Gyökeres this game week. So it's not just me saying that; the numbers say it too. And having this set up, it just makes it much easier to make my future moves. And that is Palmer or Saka in game week 8 or 9. And also my game week 12 and 13 plans to bring in my Salah and the rest of Liverpool, Newcastle, City, etc. It's just way easier having that money out in my 11 and attackers. It's so much easier that way. I'm saving like 2 mil, almost 2 mil. Yeah, and like I said, it's less transfers required down the line. So I won't need to make a goalkeeper transfer. Even if Petric is injured, so it'd just be Dubravka coming in. So yeah, I won't need to take money out of my bench or goalkeeper spot at any point. So I can just focus my transfers on my 11 and maybe my first bench option, which is currently Kudos. So at some point that money will come out, and I'll probably bring in a Dewsbury Hall, for example. Let's go over to how this setup will look over the next few game weeks. So this is how we're looking. So Gyökeres, I would bench this game week. Game week 7 rolls around. I'd play Kudos again, and I'd probably end up benching Reinders this game week, I'd imagine. Probably the best option to bench. And then game week 8 comes, so now my bench boost is looking a lot better, in my opinion. So I'm not hedging. Kudos plays against Villa, who I don't own, and Rodon plays against Burnley, who I have no attackers from. So they can both get me cleans without compromising any of my attackers. Obviously, I might put Kudos in my 11. But just to illustrate the difference between Kudos and Stack, he's on my bench now just to see the difference. So bench boost looks good. I've got 3 free transfers, so if I need to bring in Saka or Palmer or whoever, or make transfers, then that's absolutely fine. Game week 9 comes, and let's say, same instance, we need Palmer at this point. So Palmer will come in. And now this is an easy swap. I don't have to compromise Semenyo or Njai or Reinders. I might now know who is the best budget midfielder. Sorry, what am I doing? It would be Kudos coming out at this point. He's played his best fixtures now. And just Palmer in with 2 moves. Nice and easy. 5.3 mil, so is it Stack? Is it Dewsbury Hall? I want to know more at this point. There is a world where I can afford 5.5 mil mid. Or if Anderson drops by 1, etc. Things like that. So I then bring in I can even go down to King if I think I'm going to need the budget in later weeks. So I'd downgrade Kudos, and Fernandes will turn into Palmer, just a captain in a few of these weeks. If he's fit, of course. And now let's, I'll go through it just a bit slower so you can see. Obviously Tarkowski would be a permanent play. See how the team looks each week. Probably would end up benching Reinders, wouldn't I? But anyway. Game week 13 comes around. So we want to start working in Salah. So same exercises before. This time we've got Petrovic and Rodon. So Salah will come in. Shocker S. I made him gooey last time. Now I've got to decide if I want to keep Gabriel for the season or over the next few weeks. Or I want to bring in Vardiol, Nori. I want to keep Tarkowski. Let's say I want to keep Gabriel and bring in Virgil. Okay, still got 0.3 in the bank. I'm going to want a mid-price midfielder. Semenyo's got Sunderland this week. So I could keep Semenyo if he's still on pens and in form. Maybe I can go to Kakpo in the week after to get my Liverpool triple up in 14. Now go to Kakpo. Or let's say I've got that. So basically keeping Semenyo on my team allows me to keep that mid-price midfielder to then be a Gordon or Gakpo, because I think one of them would be meta at this point in the season. Dewsbury Hall still there. So also in my thinking, I'm gonna when I don't have to just keep Stack the whole way through, and this point in the season Stack has bad fixtures. I can then move to this midfielder spot who I know is going to play each game week in game week 9. I might even make it in game week 9. I might not have to bring Palmer in. But as we get closer to 12 and 13, 14, I'll have a better idea of what fifth midfielder I would like. And then we've still got 1 free transfer. So, Gabriel, it could be Vardiol. What else could I do with this money? NGI, who could he be? I don't really know, but like I said now, NGI probably would change. I probably wouldn't want double. So move to another 6.8 mid. Whoever is meta at that time. Oh yeah, it'd be a SAR, wouldn't it? Surely it'd be a SAR. So our team's looking better because I've got my Salah, I've got my Haaland, I've got 2 mid-price forwards in a forward spot and a midfielder spot. I've got good mid-price asset in SAR, 2 cheaper mids. It's gonna have to be the way. And obviously, Gabriel's a lot of money and Virgil, so this could just go down to a good 4.5 mil defender or 5 mil defender. Then I can upgrade Sar to a Gordon. So maybe Gabriel wants to be a burn. Maybe Gabriel wants to be a burn, and then Sar can be a Gordon, for example. Obviously, I'm hoping to have transfers at this point anyway, so I can make 1 in 15. So I just want to take Tarky down. I don't know, to a burn. Does he have a fixture this week? It wouldn't be City away, would it? But just for illustration. And then I'll be able to make it all my moves there without taking a hit. And even the Hakpo move, that can just come in a week later when he gets Sunderland. So I think this, I'm keeping you Reindeer and Haaland through up until 13. It allows you to have enough transfers for mini wildcard and make something like this. But like I said, I couldn't make this team having Raya in goal. So I'm thinking Petrovic is the play. So obviously I've had this idea for a couple of days now, and as I always do, I like to check out with the numbers. So what does the model say? I'm using Solio Analytics. Bit confusing on your screen, so we'll talk through this. On the left hand side is my preferred differential draft. So that's having Kudos and Rodon. I will be playing Kudos in game week 6 to 8 all game weeks, and I'll be playing Rodon in game week 8. Together, I would get 17.12 points playing them two. And if I compare that to the template build, so you'd be starting Shockers in Game Week 6, you'd be playing Rinders in Game Week 7, and you'd be playing Stack in Game Week 8. So these are the players that would be on my bench. Well, I haven't Kudos, but if I didn't have Kudos and it was Stack, it would be these guys on the right hand side who played. Does that make sense? And then Richards would be playing in my bench boost instead of Rodon. So combining their points, it's 15.23. So Kudos and Rodon does net me more points, like 2 points difference, than having Jokeres, Rinders and Stack. However, it's not that simple. I also need to consider my goalkeepers. Will Raya over Petrovic be enough of an upgrade to offset that? So I can't just base it up to Game Week 8 because my keeper will be staying in my team. So I've gone from Game Week 6 to 13 because 13, I'm expecting if I go for Raya, I'm going to have to transfer him out. Probably. More than probable. So 6 to 13, Petrovic will get 23 and nearly a half points. Raya will get 30 and a half points. Solio predicts Petrovic have 27% chance of a clean on average in them games, and then 42% chance for Raya. That's an average of 2.92 points for Petrovic and an average of 3.81 points for Raya. So if I combine Kudos, Rodon and Petrovic, that will give me 40.48 points total. And then the right hand side, combine Raya with the template picks, that will give me 45.71. So, the right hand side does fill me more points, but the way I like to look at it, if you're booking in a future transfer, you should really be deducting -4 points. So if I was to do that, deduct -4 for that future free transfer, that would be 41.71 points. So that's only 1 point and a little bit more better than the left hand side because I'm using that extra transfer. You don't have to look at it that way, but that's how myself and the expert managers that I watch, is how we think about the game. But I wasn't satisfied with this. I wasn't satisfied with it at all. I was looking at Petrovic's average points, and honestly, the fixtures from 6 to 13 are amazing for Bournemouth, and they've started the season so well, really well. And that's high expected points for Raya. I know we've got good fixtures. Maybe that is fair. So I looked at last year. Kepa, when he played at Bournemouth, his average points across the season was 3.4 points. So I don't see how Petrovic can average 2.9 when the fixtures are a sea of greens, apart from City. That doesn't seem accurate. I can't imagine Petrovic being a goalkeeper that averages less than 3 points. He's going to be like a 3.3, 3.5 point average goalkeeper, right? Surely. I mean, that would check out with Kepa's stats from last year. And then Raya's stats from last year were around what he's predicted to get over the next few game weeks, so 3.74. But if you look at Kepa 3.4 versus Raya 3.74, that ain't worth $1 million more to go for Raya, is it? That ain't worth $1 million. So what I did on Solio, you can slightly edit the stats. So I bumped up Petrovic's clean sheet odds from 27% to 29%, and then I just bumped down Raya's from 42% because that's high. We're not going to clean 42% of games, are we? So I just brought it down just a tiny bit, just to 40%, and that's just them tiny adjustments have changed. So left hand side now, if I was to edit and Bournemouth is slightly better than the model suggests, only by 2%. I think it could be more, but I'm being conservative for 2%. That would give me 41.28 points. And if Arsenal were a little worse than the models say, which is probably fair and the likely outcome, because we do find ways to concede, that'll be 44.65 points. It's getting closer now. There's not many points in it. And if you deduct the -4 because of the future transfer you've booked, all of a sudden now the left hand side's looking better by a point. So I look at this. I don't think Petrovic is going to average 2.92 in the fixtures that he has from 6 to 13. He has great fixtures. He's 4.5 mil. He's going to get probably Kepa's average points 3.4. Probably fair, 3.4 points. Raya, if he overperforms, he's probably going to average 4 points. If he underperforms, he's going to average probably similar to Petrovic, 3.5. So these numbers don't make me feel as if Raya is worth $1 million more than Petrovic. I don't see the gap being that big. Let me know what you think down below. Right, if you're still listening at this point, thank you so much. I'm drawing to the end now. This is just a quick summary. So I reckon I'm 90% likely to go for this wildcard draft. Having a strong 8th attacker in Kudos, it could be Enzo. I'll think about it and I'll look at press conferences, etc. to decide on that. But I would likely bench Chocorus this week. I don't see him doing particularly well away to Newcastle. So yeah, my 3 defenders I love. I don't really want to ever bench them. I just want to perma play them. Petrovic I think is a really good shout. 4.5 mil. I think I can just set him in my team and leave him for the season. And then yeah, everyone else speaks for itself. Rodon and Alderete, they rotate so nicely. So if Gabriel, Tarkowski and Sessi ever do get injured, I'll just bring one of them in. Won't be a big deal. I won't need to make a transfer or take a hit in that game week. And then obviously if one of my attackers get hit, then I've got a perfect replacement in Chocorus or Kudos, whoever else it could be. So yeah, that is my Game Week 6 wildcard draft. Let me know what you think down below. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate that. If you've stuck to this point, then surely that's worth a like. Come on, give me a like. Drop a follow, subscribe. I've got a TikTok account, Twitter as well. So yeah, please drop a follow on other accounts as well. Leave me a comment. Are you on wildcard? What are you saying? Do you agree with my thinking? Am I going wrong somewhere? I wanted to go against the template, but I didn't want to do it for differential sake. I wanted it to work, and I wanted to find a slight edge. And I think I might have just done that with the upside of Kudos. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Wish you good luck for the game week, guys. It's been a long video, so thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.